guys are doing fantastic. Maybe have a little bit of background noise here. I am getting ready for the stock market today. I need to double check that I am live up on YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming in, hanging out. Let's get ready for the stock market today. Okay, there. Okay, there. And then I'm going to share this out. Okay. Boom. Boom. We got one person in here watching. I wonder who that is. Put this here. Come get ready for the stock market today. I am live right now on YouTube going through all the biggest news stories, earnings, and more. Come join up and say hi in the chat. All right, there we go. We got that out. I can also do this. We'll do that. What is up, everybody? How are you doing? We have a very interesting day in the stock market. Let me get all of my tabs pulled up here. We had a lot of earnings, a lot of news stories from the morning. We also have a couple data points to be watching out for. Let me full screen this. Let's get going. Okay. Overlay. Ooh, I also want to get the legend up too so we can look at some stock moves. There we go. All right. If you guys are coming in the chat, say hello. I'd love to talk with you guys. Let me know what stocks you guys are watching. Let's get this set up too. Add chart, add chart, add chart. Some of the earnings from the morning. Meta, I want to see what that ended up doing, how that one's going. Microsoft, it's a 5-minute candle. It's still going to be up pretty big. Microsoft. And we also had Robinhood earnings. And we also had MasterCard numbers come out this morning. MA, MasterCard. All right, nice. These are some of the earnings. Let's go through some of the news stories, pulling up the earnings hub, making sure that you guys can see this. Let's go over and let's start with some of last night's earnings, and then we can go around here. Obviously, the big dogs in the space, let's make this even bigger, were Meta, Microsoft, Hood, but I also want to look through Qualcomm and ARM. Here's for Robinhood. That's price. Came in with a double beat. The stock Robinhood is down 1.4% in the pre-market trading. Let's see what they had to say on the Seeking Alpha. Earnings revenue beat consensus as crypto equities rise on options trading climb. Stock raises 2025 guidance, combined adjusted operating expenses and share. The prior guidance, adjusted operating expenses. Okay. EPS was a beat. Revenue was a beat. Increasing from last quarter right there. And then also, I got a lot of stuff from the earnings call last night as well. Vlad Tenev said the company had nearly 1 billion prediction contracts traded during the quarter. They were asked another question later on here that were a lot of those contracts sports? Were a lot of those contracts on economic events? And as you could see, about 5% were economic events, 95% were traded on sports. Also, some other headlines. We had said that they've rolled out their new banking features internally to employees and will roll it out publicly in the fall. I have empirically heard one or two things watching Apple today. I appreciate you being here. Yo, Sneedy. How do I say your name? I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, I heard empirically that actually the employees are liking this. Now, would they have told me if they weren't liking it? But employees are allegedly a fan of the banking products as it's starting to roll out. I thought this is an interesting one that I'm surprised didn't get gravitated towards more. CEO Vlad Tenev said the company now has more than 600,000 customers internationally. I believe they have like 25 million customers total. So that isn't necessarily the massive number in the grand scheme of things. But I imagine that's going to be a number that's very far in focus over the next couple quarters, couple months, everything like that. As this is going to be probably a growth area. We know in that France event, they ended up talking about the tokenized stocks and tokenized private companies, which was a lot of the questions on the call. All the analysts were really kind of interested in that one, which did surprise me a little bit, but I guess not too aggressively. Let me just get one comment out as well. Sorry. Damn, I'm surprised. I'm normally pretty bad with pronunciations and names, but yeah, I think this is something we're gonna watch. They had at their France event, tokenized stocks, tokenized private companies. They want to expand in the EU, and that model that they were using, they seem to think that model could expand to other countries around the world. So I would expect to see this number being something that goes up aggressively. Obviously, it's gonna have. We didn't get to hear much about the average revenue per user of their international client versus the US one and how they go after it. But I imagine the international audience is going to be one. I even know Future Investing Tanner. If any of you guys are a fan of him, I'm a fan. Puts out some great stuff. He is from Canada and can't even use the product, and I know he's a fan of the company. So even just getting up into Canada could be a large deal for them. Robinhood also said that they have begun testing the cash delivery feature in certain markets. They announced a feature that you will be able to get cash delivered to you instead of having to go to ATMs. Obviously, guys, if we look at all the comments here, literally, no, that's interesting. Uber for cash. Going to be a lot of Robin going on into Hood. So there was a lot of questions like that, even on this one. GTA 6. I can think of a few neighborhoods that won't work, and we shall see. I didn't know if they were ever going to end up launching this. I thought it was a little bit more of a gimmick, maybe, just to kind of get people talking about it. But it does seem like it is happening. And then this was another headline that I gravitated towards. Quick water sip. Okay. Vlad Tenev said the company has 9 separate business lines that are bringing in $100 million of annual revenue each. He said there's a couple that are kind of in deck in that 50 to 100 million range. So it's something to keep an eye on. Obviously, Meta also was a huge yesterday. Meta killed it. Here we go. They reported English, stop, go. All right. Meta reported EPS of $7.14, which was a beat on expectations of $5.87. Normally, when you see something like that, there's like a one-time expense, and we really didn't see that here. So just strong numbers for Meta. $47.5 billion on revenue, beating expectations of $44.8 billion. Let's see what they are saying about Meta on here. I didn't get the chance. I was busy yesterday, so I didn't get the chance to dig in as far into this Meta one as I would have wanted to. Now, obviously, the stock quickly 7% in pre-market trading. If you guys can see that, up about $27. I also got it this morning. All right, here. Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is up $30 billion overnight, so congrats to him. Let's dig in. Meta charts, earnings snapshot. Tops expectations, Q3 guidance. You know what we can actually do? Let's go over to Brad's Stock Market Nerds one page. Let's see how that does for me. Big fan of Brad, following him. Hood, Meta. Okay, so beat revenue expectations, beat daily active users expectations, free cash flow. There's a lot of beats here. Total daily active users of 3.48 billion. That is up 6.4% year over year. We're talking about like half of the world's population, and Meta is still able to grow at a 6-7% clip on daily active users. That's pretty insane. That is pretty insane. Now, they probably aren't coming from I wonder what areas of the world they are coming from. If these are high average revenue per user areas or if they are lower ones, but I digress. Growth quarter over quarter up 1.5%, impressive. On the profitability side, I would more look at the trend here, like GAAP EBIT still increasing, even as they have begun. Well, I guess, okay. So I thought there was a chance coming into this quarter that this free cash flow thing is actually going down. That's interesting. I thought coming into this quarter, there was a chance that they were going to maybe miss on this EPS on the bottom line aspect of it, as the company has began to invest aggressively into AI researchers. It's become a very big conversation here. In a couple years ago, when Zuckerberg tried to invest very heavily into the Reality Labs segment, the market did not give him credit for that. The market did not believe it. They did not want to see that investment. You're investing in stuff now for profit, bringing in profit in the future. They did not buy the Reality Labs segment. They are buying the AI the super intelligence segment of it. That is an opportunity that the market is excited for him to go after. So it is giving him a little bit of cover to make some large investments and OpEx and CapEx, invest a little bit more than it's expected. Maybe you start to see the EBIT and the more earnings numbers get a little bit less impressive at points as they invest aggressively for an opportunity that they see can then expand everything they're doing quite aggressively. Are any of you guys Meta fans in the chat? Meta is one of my larger holdings. I'm a big Mark Zuckerberg Meta fan. There was a couple headlines that I gravitated towards. Again, I was focused on the earnings, on the Robinhood earnings. If you guys came from X, go give this a like. And by the way, I have ADHD, first of all. That's quite clear. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys hanging in. We got 17 of you in this live chat. I really want to work more on this YouTube. So go in. If you guys are subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I appreciate you being here. I'm doing more of this stuff. I might even just do my morning live streams here in general. But yeah, go give this a like. Subscribe to the channel. Throw those notifications on. And let's get ready for the day every single day together. We had 3.5 billion people using Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp every single day. There was estimated to be 8.2 billion people on Earth, not dollars. Sorry. That means 43% of the population uses a Facebook product every single day. That's where these growth numbers are still quite insane at the scale this company is getting to. No one has really been able to do that. There was one of the headline yesterday that I posted, I know that I thought was interesting. Here it is. Mark Zuckerberg said Meta AI now has 1 billion monthly active users. Let's see. I think he might have posted some too, Brad. Growing daily active users, 6% clip. Yep. No. Okay. Not seeing much else there. And then I also quickly, Microsoft, over a $4 trillion market cap in after hours following its earnings. Stock is up 8.6%, 8.7% in the pre-market trading. Here's what was reported there. EPS was $3.65, beating expectations of $3.37. Revenue is $76.4 billion, beating expectations of $73.5 billion. Microsoft, let's pull up and see what they're talking about here. A lot of news coming out about Microsoft. Okay, wait, I don't like this. Hide full stories. Revenue productivity business up 16%. Intelligent cloud up 29.9 billion, up 26%. But I want to find the forward guidance is what I'm kind of looking for. Maybe this is it. Reported earnings per share of that. Intelligent cloud surpassed the estimate. Productivity above expectations. Personal computing above expectations. So all the segments in there. Looking forward, expect Microsoft forecast revenue 32.25. Total revenue $75.25 billion at the midpoint, which is above the expectations of $74.2 billion. All right. Okay. For a second, I was like, that's 10 billion. That's an extra $1 billion or more. So nice beat on the guidance there. For some reason, my mind calculated that as 64 billion. Hey, Evan, just wanted to say the X spaces are so awesome. I've learned a lot. Never stop them. I appreciate you. Minutes. Yeah, no, I love those spaces. We are not stopping them. We are doubling down on them. I think live streams, truthfully, might be better. But spaces, the way we can kind of join in. By the way, 9 a.m. Eastern just ended up coming up. 9 a.m. Eastern is a popular time for news to come out. Let me pull up the Benzinga Pro and let's see what they have to say. Let's zoom in a little. Okay, any news headlines coming out here? Square data shows up at 25 Mobility. Grayscale launches Grayscale Story Trust. Exposure to IP, the native token of the Story Network. I have no idea what that means. Fluid, JP Morgan's Payments launches cutting-edge supply chain finance solution with Oracle. Integrate with Oracle Fusion Cloud to optimize working capital, a solution that is being used by FedEx. Solution. Integrated with Oracle Fusion Cloud Enterprise Resource. Okay, is this? I don't see this as super meaningful. Let me look and see if either of those, if Oracle might even be moving off that. Sorry, probably mumbling. Oracle's up 2% in the pre-market though. What about Nvidia as well? Sorry. The ADHD is horrible. Nvidia's flying. Yeah, I think that's just an interesting headline. We'll see more. Okay, that was most of what I'm seeing there. To the other page. Hello from Spain. What is up, Carmom? I appreciate you being here. I have no idea what this is. We do have the Figma IPO coming up today. Figma is beginning to trade, so watch out for that. I am looking forward to that. I try to get filled 100 shares under the Figma IPO. We'll see if we end up getting it. I don't think so. All right. I was in the middle of Microsoft there, but I think I was towards the end. Projects capital to total $30 billion during the first quarter. I believe this was their fiscal Q4. Okay, yeah. Jesus. I may actually post that. I missed that yesterday. Oh my God, what? You guys can see this. Microsoft said yesterday on its earnings call. Did I spell all of that right? Seeking alpha credit. Hit it with a nope, there we go. Expenditures. Okay. Microsoft expects to spend $30 billion on CapEx. I wonder if that's going, I wonder where all that's money is going to. How about the SI IPO? What are you watching? I have no idea. I'm not a big IPO guy, honestly, if I'm being real. About 2 calls for 725 around 3:58 p.m. I'm assuming this is Meta. I can't wait to sell. My break even is 734. I'm hoping it opens at 800 and I do a market sell. So excited. Evan, let's make some money. Just Sam. Do you think Kramer is going to start pumping it close to the open for Meta? Jim Cramer's a Meta fan. That was a fantastic quarter. He's not going to have anything bad to say about it. Microsoft is a machine to make money. Microsoft has been killing it. Let's look at this company's market cap. This is going to be an interesting watch today. I know Microsoft is going to open the day above a $4 trillion market cap. So congrats to those shareholders. I own a little bit of Microsoft, not an aggressive amount. I own a good bit of Nvidia. I believe this is going to open up right around a $4.5 trillion market cap. And then Meta, I think I saw was going to open above a $2 trillion market cap. So this is, we got a nice morning incoming. Thank you guys for talking in the chat, though. Honestly, that is straight. Listen, the awesome thing about Spaces is I can have my friends come in and we can all chat together. The amazing thing about live streaming is this live chat that we get to communicate and talk some good stuff together. So, yeah, this was another one, that macro data. Jerome Powell and the Fed's preferred inflation index came out. PCE for June came in a little bit above expectations. That means inflation is running above what you would expect it. You want the inflation number to be below. Core PCE was also slightly above, but in line with the previous print. The month-over-month number was in line, though. We also did have initial jobless claims, which I know they posted. Apple earnings after the close. MicroStrategy earnings after the close as well. Watch out. Initial jobless claims, 218K. Below expectations of 220K. What this means 218,000 people in the US filed for unemployment benefits last week. below expectations of 220K. So that means less people filed for unemployment this past week. Doesn't necessarily mean that less people are losing their jobs, but it does mean that less people are filing for their unemployment benefits. Jesus, I just saw that guy's name. All right, we also Klarna. They're reportedly considering a revival of their IPO as soon as September. Like I said, that Figma IPO, and then we get Omnu in the chat talking about a couple other IPOs. IPO season might be back and in full swing. MasterCard reported earnings this morning. Let's go. We'll play a quick one here. Let's get rid of that. Zoom in a little bit. We have MasterCard double beat, AbbVie double beat, Roblox. Let's see how some of these are doing. MasterCard, Roblox. I saw a race there, Ferrari. No, what was the last one? AbbVie. Okay. Whoa, Roblox is up 20%. Okay. MasterCard up 1, race down 5, AbbVie up 5. What happened with Roblox? Roblox stock missed EPS. Beat on bookings. Revenue of 21%. Average daily active users of 111 million. Third quarter guidance. Okay, so this is what it is. Bookings of $1.62 billion. Wall Street was expecting $1.4 billion. So that's a large beat on the bookings guidance. Positive free cash flow. What's their valuation? What is Roblox's market? $84.7 billion. Interesting. Jesus. 27.4 billion hours engaged, up 58% year over year. I am only chatting because this is Meta. I also own 125 shares. I won't sell those. There we go. I am a big Meta fan. I don't quite own 125 shares. I own a good bit. And I've been adding to. That's one of the names that I'm not necessarily afraid to add to at this point as well. NVIDIA and AMD are in their race to see who gets to 200 first. Now, let's not forget that AMD is a lot smaller of a company than NVIDIA, so it might have a little bit of an – you would maybe think that pathway might be a little bit clearer. But NVIDIA at 200 is like a $5 trillion company. AMD at 200 is probably like is it on this first? But yeah, there it is. It's probably like a $400 billion company, maybe 350. So it's a little different. All right, let's keep running through a couple more of these. Bank of America with some price target changes. You're going to see a lot of those today. We looked at that one. Moderna reducing its workforce by 10%. They had around 5,800 employees coming into the year. They want to leave the year with 5,000. That was a lot of the news headlines from this morning. Let's do one more round of these earnings, see if there's any other big movers. SPGI, CVS, Shell, Bristol-Myers. You know what? Actually, Grab as well. A lot of you guys, I don't know if we have any Grab fans in here. Amit's live, so maybe you're all just over there. S&P Global down about 1-2. Bristol-Myers down 2. CVS up 6. 7. Grab has not moved that much in the intraday. When CVS report. Double-digit year-over-year growth in all segments. Fair enough. All right. Let's take a look back at some of my my biggest holdings and see what they're about to be doing today. Tesla is going to open up 0.6%. Apple, who has earnings after the close, up 0.2%. NVIDIA was doing well, up 2%. Going to open up around that $183 mark. That is a big one. And then Meta and Microsoft's coming off their earnings up. Meta up 11, Microsoft up 9. All right, I'm excited for these ones. I'm new. You seem to be investing in some names that I do not know. And if you are actually new, I don't know if those are the names that you should be playing in the nicest way. I'm dumb, so maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. I don't know. I do not know. AMD has not good fundamentals. I do not like its figures. That is fair. If you also look at the AMD chart too, let's see this higher one. And then you zoom out even a little further, I guess. We had a gap right here that a lot of traders were watching for it to fill, right around this like 177. This also, I'm not a big trader, but this was kind of a big level that a lot of people were watching, and now we're over it. So it's just a hard trade. I don't know. If it pulled back here, it would make a lot of sense to regather. It still would be bullish. Like even if this name fell back down to like 170, 160 and held, that would be extremely bullish in this trend. So, yeah, AMD. AMD is an interesting one. We'll see if it can start to turn around. Put an eye on IBKR. Why can't I show this? Okay, I don't think the comments are showing up. Maybe let's try this. All right, wait, what's happening? Restream, come on. Baby, come back. All right, there we go. Can I show this now? There we go. Put an eye on IBKR, Interactive Brokers. You know, this $1,000. Look at this chart. Yeah. Is this all-time highs? Oh, yeah. Look at this IBKR chart. This is kind of beautiful. Yeah, this seems like a similar meta theme. Carmom, I appreciate you being here. I think that's a good place on this morning live stream. I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to do a lot more on YouTube in general. Yeah, I'm sorry for some of the answers. I'm new, but I appreciate you being here. Just in general, yeah, give this channel a subscribe. Sure, a lot of you guys came here from X. I'm sure when I look at the statistics, that's where all of you guys came from. I am going to be doing most of these live streams on X as always. I just thought this morning one, let's just give a little tester on the YouTubes. But yeah, I'm just trying to make as great a content as possible. That's, you know, I want to deliver as much value, give as much information and all that stuff. So that's kind of my goal. And any way I could do that, these live streams seem like a good way to try and do more. So yeah, I appreciate you being here. Subscribe to this channel, throw those notifications on. The live stream experience transparently is just much better on YouTube than X. So I will be doing most of my live streams on X, but I think that this is the better place to be having it. So I appreciate you coming in, hanging out with me. And yeah, all the people who said hello in the chat. I'm new. Carmom. We had Minutes. Just Sam. We also had, it was Nady who came in, was first person in the chat right there. So I appreciate you all coming in. Looks like Minutes was here for a long time. So I really appreciate you. Thank you to everyone. I'm going to end the stream. Stop blabbering. I'm going to be doing more of these. If you're just following me on X, don't worry, but subscribe to this channel as well. And I will catch you all later.